Every 3 years, an ancient ritual takes place here.
The SonarFeed is filmed live each week at the Berliner Pub in beautiful downtown Renton. As a live broadcast, the SonarFeed is uncensored and may not be suitable for all audiences.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to SonarFeed episode number 15.
15.
That's a 1 and a 5. Three dudes rambling live here from the Berliner Pub in Renton, Washington.
Quite live.
My name is Aaron Sonar Riley. On my, let's go this way, right, left, my left, is Adam C. Smith.
Right, probably.
Mr. Adam C. Smith.
Mr. Adam C. Smith, thank you.
On my right is Mr. Lee Rayel, at Lee Rayel on Twitter. We have a good, fun show for you this evening. We have a special guest at Soccer Reform, Ted Westervelt. I'll probably pronounce it wrong about 10 or 12 more times. We're going to talk about FIFA. We're going to have Christian Tiefert on. No.
Tiefert and Pfeiffer.
Tiefert?
And Geesh burning.
Yeah, no, I can say Spurning.
I know.
Come on, we got a big show. We gotta go.
We do.
Yeah, we gotta move it along.
I'm working on it. We're gonna talk about puppies and lollipops. Yep. So you can look forward to that here in just a little bit.
Should have put in the puppies and lollipops.
And not Halloween.
Let's start off with, how are you, Adam?
Hey. Party at the Moon Tower. All right. I'm just happy to be here tonight. We got the anchor, otherwise known as the talent back.
Make sure you're talking into
Had a lot of soccer stuff going on this week, uppers, downers, and we're ready to rock. I'll pass it off to my friend Lee, he's taking a swig, right? Mid-swig. Now he's going to be happier than he was 10 seconds ago.
I am. I'm working on my first beer for the evening. Thank God for beer. I'm drinking a Warsteiner Oktoberfest, and it is unbelievably great. If you haven't had one yet, go find a German bar and drink the shit out of it.
Yeah. Come on down to the Berliner and have one with us sometime.
We might have some technical difficulty. You okay?
You're fine.
Everything's good?
Yep.
So my world's going great. You can't tell, I need a fucking haircut. I'm going to go and talk about that now. So that's high on my list of things to do. Are we still, can we do the sound check real quick?
Yep, absolutely. So while we're waiting for the sound check, we'll go ahead and give a quick shout out to David Thorson. He is not here this evening, but he has provided us the lights that you see here to help us look pretty, nice and pretty, as it were. Epic photo guy on Twitter. Also sonarcast.com. You can get all the episodes except for last week, because somebody while I was away didn't put it up last week. It'll be fixed tomorrow.
It's going to be episode 14.7.
14 and 15 will be up about the same time.
About the same time. So,
sorry.
Yep. All right. So
that's what happens when the talent's not around. That's what happens.
Diddle dick. Now can you hear Lee?
Diddle dick.
All right. With that said, let's go ahead while we're working on his little bit of sound issues there. Let's go ahead and jump right into talking about last week, the week that was.
The week that was.
We will be right back.
All right, all you cool cats and kittens out there, the SonarFeed is tracking back. This is The Week in Review.
And we're back.
All right.
Dazed and confused, yes. We have to do a little bit. So when he leans in, yes, you're doing good.
There's Wooderson right here. That's some serious horsepower.
We have a little bit of loud. We switched things up a little bit in here this evening. We've got a big, huge party in here. And then we're sitting out here with this. I think you're getting the echo off of this a little bit.
That could be.
So,
I'll try to talk a little bit here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lee's going to put his megaphone on.
Let's talk about last week, the week that was.
That was 2 games.
Yeah,
I missed it. I was on the road. I was in Calgary, as you guys know who watched the show last week. I was in Calgary, and then I was also in Ann Arbor, Michigan for quite a while.
I would like to visit Ann Arbor
Oh, it's
someday.
beautiful. Oh my God, beautiful city. So I unfortunately watched both the matches. Well, I actually watched one match here, but I watched the marathon match from a Red Robin in Ann Arbor. Is where I ended up at. I had them put it up on the screen for me. It was the Tigers' first game of the World Series, and they were losing. But they had like 21 TVs in there. 20 of them were on the Tigers' World Series game. One was on the CCL match, Sounders. I had a number of
People
the
in Seattle
waiters.
that might not have found that channel.
Yeah, the waiters and the waitresses go, I don't think I've ever seen soccer on TV in here. They were all excited. So it's kind of a cool thing. So
Did you hand out business cards?
I did not.
Oh, damn it.
I did not.
Okay.
So I handed out other stuff to him.
Oh, I see.
It's a whole other story.
So
But-
CONCACAF.
So let's go into it.
I was there.
Yep, how was it?
It was another one of those nights on a Wednesday night, CONCACAF match. People not taking it all that as seriously as I'd hope for international play.
Well, I think there's a couple reasons for that.
Well, it's a Wednesday night, and they don't care about international play.
No, and we already did it.
I know,
This
but
was a seeding game.
yeah, but it's a cheap ticket, and it's the Sounders. Come support your team.
I mean,
How many did they announce? I haven't seen the announcement.
It's like 7,000 to 9,000, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like a sellout in Portland, but
Sure.
no, just kidding. joke.
It's actually true.
Kind of. It's kind of true. It was a great game. The atmosphere, dude. It was every bit as loud with 9,000 people as it was with 35,000 because the hardcore showed up.
Oh yeah.
ECS was there. All the supporter teams, supporter groups were there. And the people that showed up that don't even sit in the area were more involved because there weren't people around them griping about them standing up or whatever.
The weather was shitty.
It's 46 and cloudy, it says here.
46 and
And it was 78, 74 was the attendance.
Yeah, it was around 7 plus. Okay, I said 7 to 9, but it wasn't raining when I was there. I did not get wet. I brought hand warmers.
The pregame was definitely raining.
Yeah, and then
I think it cleared up right around game
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it cleared on up.
Because when I got to the game at 7 minutes, no, that was when I was at the charity thing.
Yeah.
So when I got there at the 85th minute, there was no rain.
Yeah, there was no
For
rain.
those 6 minutes you watched of the game, there was
That's
no
what happens.
rain.
Lee comes in hot. He
Yeah.
stops rain, snow, sleet, all that kind of inclement weather you want. You want Lee coming in hot. He'll burn it away.
That's what I do.
That's what he does. He comes in hot. He always, when he says he's coming in hot, he does. But pretty much the game started and the Sounders played really, really well for a game they didn't need. They just came and kicked ass, as we will see in the predictions when we get around to that part of the show.
Well, we're there.
Yeah, we're kind of there.
We're there. So we'll go ahead and call it. Last week I was glumly again. I called a 1-0 win.
I love how you framed that. I was right. We were going to win.
I definitely was right. I was
Once
off on the
again.
score. I was off on the score though. These two both had predicted a 3-1 victory. I predicted a 1-0 victory. So it was good. It was a good win all around. Put us in third overall.
So we're just getting
Yeah,
us straight on past our predictions.
Well, we have to play Tigres, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
just all right.
Which actually tying the game would have been better for us
Yes.
than
it would
winning.
have dropped us down.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it would have been better.
You know what?
Although I think we can beat Tigres, so I'm going to call them the Tigers.
We'll just switch in the Holy Double Pumper.
The Mexican Tigers.
Mexican Tigers.
The Tigres.
That's not racist or anything.
You said it, not me.
That's the name of their team, and they're
They are.
The Tigres.
Now,
Los Tigres.
that's a game I won't travel to. I can guarantee you that. I will not
Yeah,
be
we're not-
traveling to that game. No, they're near they're near.
That other place.
Probably like a Wednesday.
When you say that other place, there's a couple of them.
Are we talking about where they're playing in Mexico?
When did we went down there and play? Who did we get on there and play?
Laguna.
Maybe it was Marathon. Maybe they're near Marathon.
Marathon's not Mexico.
No, not Marathon. What's the other one?
Monterrey?
Monterrey.
Well, these guys are arguing about. I'm going to give a little quick truism. If Aaron won't travel there internationally, there's no way I'm going.
Yeah, it's near Monterrey.
Okay.
That's the confirmation there. And that is the place where, when the Sounders were there 2 years ago, I think it was, right around the same time, the mayor's head got chopped off.
That happens. It happens. I'm telling
Hey,
you.
bad mayor.
Okay.
Bad mayors get their heads chopped off.
Bad mayor. Bad mayor.
All right,
is
so
that like John Mayer's bad? Is that what we're saying?
No. If you're a bad mayor, you get your head chopped off.
Okay. If you like John Mayer, you're gonna chop your head off.
The citizens are sending a clear message.
Jesus Christ, I hope so.
Yeah, but dude,
Execution for all John Mayer fans starting today.
I mean, you want a mandate from the
John Mayer?
citizens.
Yes.
You can score with the ladies.
Yes.
The ladies.
Oh my God.
So
Everyone always wants mandates. Getting your head cut off is a mandate from
Because
the
we do have a
public.
huge show tonight, so let's go.
Yeah, we need to
Good
move
guest
forward.
coming up here. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good, it's a great guess.
Yes, it is.
It's easily a.
So let's go and talk quickly about the LA Galaxy game, and I want to talk quickly about.
I'm done with it.
Fucking heartbreaking.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
Unfortunately, I haven't heard any news about Eddie Johnson's MRI.
No,
Well,
tomorrow.
no, tomorrow apparently now. They said today though, but now tomorrow.
I don't know what the situation with Jeff Park is.
No.
We came off early with a little bit of a game.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else about him.
But they both walked off at least.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I did see Eddie Johnson tweet something today that he had one-on-one time with one of his guys, but I don't think it was a rehabilitation person.
No, if it's Casey, I'm guessing the pastor. Pastor Casey.
Yeah, I was thinking it was
That
more of a
my guess,
psychological,
but I don't know.
So he's on the
spiritual.
sideline stretching more than likely.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good news. At least he was at practice.
But it was gut-wrenching to see that happen,
Oh yeah.
especially on that play. Right on that play.
Sissoko was a really bad cramp.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
That's what I want to hope for.
Yeah.
We're all Eddie Johnson fans for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So
Many obvious
I think
reasons.
the most disheartening thing that happened last night, I haven't looked at the replay yet, and I want to, was the last stoppage time goal.
Yes.
To me, it looked like it looked solid. No handball, no offside, nothing. I don't know why they would call it anything other than a goal.
And there,
No, if you watch the replay, I watched it
Okay.
a couple
So it
times.
was a handball.
It was a handball.
Yeah, I think
what happened.
Freddie
But he don't
handball?
get
Yeah,
you
but
tried
what
to.
happened is the ball came down and it hit one arm.
And then ricocheted
it
off
bounced
his
from
other.
here to this arm. And
But he
so
wasn't-
then he kind of did a little of this.
Oh, he
and
did
then
do
he
that?
squeaked his leg back. So,
Okay, so then
Well, you know
look
when
at-
Freddie's in the box, anything can happen.
yes.
He headballs the hands out of keepers' hands on kick.
But if he has a header after missed shot,
Yes.
that was
Well,
so
it's
close.
frustrating.
Let's go back and sit there and say Josh Saunders shouldn't have been making all those saves anyway.
Who sold it?
Started out.
I've tried to sell my soul all my life, and he managed to do it.
How are you?
We're good.
We're great.
Sure, he's here taking care of us at the Berliner in Renton.
I'm good.
Oh, we're just giving you a shout out on the live show here.
So,
I think we're okay.
We have plenty of opportunities
Yes.
to score. Josh Saunders, he should have gotten a red card for a really bad handball outside. Intentional handball. outside the box.
Intentional. I mean, he directed the ball,
Yeah, it was pretty blatant. I mean,
and it's not like
arguments
it's
that
not
I
like in
saw-
basketball where you can jump over the line.
Right.
And then win it. It's the different.
Oh, no.
This is. Oh, he was.
definitely
It was
out.
outside the box.
Yeah, he drinks, he drives, he endangers people's lives. Josh
Josh
Saunders.
Saunders. Josh Saunders.
and it was funny.
That
As
was
you been
dirty.
here, you would have heard Mr.
Endless
Revolt
Yes.
Sing that.
screaming it at the top of his lungs.
Yes.
On the TV.
Oh, he must have been wasted.
No, he was pretty sober and he was pretty pissed.
Brian, I love you, man.
Now, I saw a lot of stuff online. I saw a couple things that, I don't know if they're true or not, but that
Well, if it's online, it's got to be true.
Kevin Stott was on the interweb, so yeah. Kevin Stott didn't want to give a red card because of the bench situation for LA.
Why is he even paying attention to that?
How does he even know about the bench situation?
Exactly.
That's a great question. I'm just telling you, that's what I read.
Why is MLS calling the referee and saying, hey, you probably shouldn't give Josh Saunders a red card today?
He was also made a comment that it was because it was only in the 5th minute, so it was too early to make it that much
Oh,
of a thing.
please.
But it doesn't
And the
matter.
fact that they were
Someone did it to
I'm
David
just saying-
Beckham that one a couple years ago.
It was Kevin. No, it was
And that was in LA also, wasn't it?
Stop.
Yeah. No, it was the
Salazar.
other guy. It was the Salazar.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
red
give
card.
Salazar.
The Salazar gave the red card to.
Salazar guy.
I couldn't give a
like
fluffy
him.
shit for cop.
Yeah, I like
for a
Salazar.
stop.
Awesome guy.
He's
Remember
nice.
that one time we were at a Marriott hotel?
I do.
Saw him.
I do.
That was great. Anyway,
That was a broken glass that you just
so
heard.
that prediction,
We all got it wrong.
we all got it wrong. All of us had, what were the scores?
Well, we all had wins
Hold on.
for the Sounders.
We all had wins.
I said 2-0. You guys said 2-1.
You said 2-1. I said 2-1.
And I said a shutout, which was pretty close. I mean, okay, we didn't win.
Except for that one goal.
But who fucked up there? That's what I want to know. Who do you guys think screwed up? The shot got off. It was just inside the box. There was a sliding tackle. Two center
came over
defenders.
late. It was
If you
like, I
actually look
mean,
at the positioning on the field, that should have been Alonzo's ball.
It should have never got to Spurning.
yeah.
It should never got.
Oh,
Okay,
it was
good. That's
blocked.
all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, no, it wasn't spurting. No,
Okay.
not at all.
Yeah, no, he's a man.
No, and you know what? Here's the thing that broke my heart. I mean, it
Correct.
sucks about Eddie, sucks about Park potentially. We hope they're going to be okay. I'm sure it's going to be fine. What I didn't care for, what I'm sad about, is that that takes us from being right in the CCL
To out of CCL.
Not we have to go to the finals now to get to the CCL.
We have to go
So
to the
MLS Cup finals
Yeah.
in order to go to the CCL.
Yeah.
That sucks more than anything else because I love the CCL championship a lot. And I guess we'll talk to Ted about that a little bit too. But that one,
We only have one path there now, and we must do it.
No, actually,
Yeah.
that's not true because we can actually win the CCL and get in.
no, I don't believe so.
I believe so.
I thought I saw you didn't do it.
Wait, do you not believe we can win the CCL, or do you not
No, I
believe
believe
getting
we
in
can.
gets us
I
in the next?
believe we can win.
I believe if you win the CONCACAF championship,
I
you
think you
come
get an
you come back to
automatic
defend.
All the way through.
Win.
I think you get an automatic.
So when we beat Barcelona in Japan in 2013.
Oh, me and Brian
See
already
you
took
there.
that ticket.
See you there.
In a Jackson
It's not. No,
I will quit my.
2014.
no,
January.
it's Monte Cristo, I think. Is it? No, not Monte Cristo.
It's 3 years in Japan.
I thought this was the last year.
No.
Well, we'll look that up, but I think it was.
While they're arguing about minutia, I had a swig of beer.
One thing I know about the show is we have fucking fact checkers.
We do.
We got we got fact checkers, the sonar
This is the goddamn
feeders.
debates here.
Yeah.
Fucking Candy Crowley don't got shit on us.
This ain't Jim Lehrer.
So Park, they're saying Park doesn't think it's going to be that big a deal
Good.
in the chat room, so that makes me feel better.
Apparently so.
So that's good.
All right, so
right.
that was.
But anyway, if we do end up in Japan or wherever you guys decide we're gonna play that match,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
will
going.
sell my car and everything. I'll quit my
I
job.
saw my wife.
So, I'll help you. Sorry,
I'll
Amy.
take your money.
Sorry. That's not what I meant.
What did you
I
mean?
meant like I posted on Craigslist for
let's
you.
talk-
I didn't mean I'd buy her.
Let's talk about the playoff picture
right,
in the
all
week
right.
ahead, and then we're going to jump right into Ted. We're about 5 minutes away from Ted.
Yep.
We're almost
Coming
there,
on.
buddy. Playoff picture.
Get a
We
beer,
go to
Ted.
We also late comes here on Friday.
Friday, 7 p.m. start at Pacific time.
We are working on a bus.
We're working on the bus from the Berliner. I'll know tomorrow, and you'll see tweets and posts.
Yep.
From downtown Renton to Seattle, the classic Berliner bus all year that we've had. They've been so good to us.
So we'll see. It's not positive yet, but we're working on that.
Working on it.
I'm going to say that I'm actually a little bit excited that we're here first this time against RSL. I'm a little sad too, like I said, because I wanted to win the game. I do believe that we exercised some of our demons with RSL. I'm still a little bit concerned though. I got to be honest. I'm still
See,
a
I
little
don't
concerned.
understand these RSL demons we have. We went down to the Rio Tinto, and we were the first team
To
beat
break
them.
them.
at home.
I know.
To break the castle in 29 games.
And it was fantastic.
No, but so I don't think we have the demons. I think they just stonewall us, man. They put 8 behind to play, three high strikers that just counter the shit out of them.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
And
you're
they
right.
don't play, and I don't get it. I don't think they're demons. I think we got their number if we want it. We have to get a good ref.
Yep.
No Salazar. No,
Yeah, I haven't
no
seen it yet.
Scott, No Kennedy. Shit. Oh, Hilario. We got Hilario. We get Hilario in there, we're good.
You'd think from his name that he would not be the best ref you'd want, because you're like, dun, 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 dun,
he's hilarious.
Because he is hilarious, yeah.
but instead we want him over Stott, Salazar, basically any other Kennedy. Basically the whole reffing crew that was in Kansas City, whether they were on the side or
I mean, all of them.
all of them. Sorry, I was trying to give one the benefit of the doubt.
All right, so that's that. Then the following Thursday
Yep.
is
At
the away leg.
6:30 RSL time.
Mountain time.
Mountain time.
Mountain time. So 5:30 our time.
That's the second leg. I mean, what do you guys think? What are you guys thinking about the?
I think if we do what they did to us last year, we kick their ass 3-0 at home, and then go down there, and all we've got to do is we're playing for a win, right?
Yeah.
Or a draw. Win or a draw, we walk through.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So we're not playing for a loss.
Just like last year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If.
We do the same thing to them that they did to us.
Right.
And then we do something that sounds knocked on in franchise history, and MLS franchise history, which is make it through to the second round of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
Which would be the Western Conference Championship.
Right.
Against. There's a whole lot of scenarios there. We don't want to talk about that.
No, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But that's that is interesting. I'm not a big fan of the bunker necessarily. I'm a fan of maybe playing for the tie without playing the full bunker.
I'm willing to play for not even our players.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Fair enough. Yep.
I mean-
And by the way, FYI, the CCL win does not guarantee a spot next year, as I said.
Okay.
If we win the Champions League this year, it does not guarantee a spot next year. Who checked that?
That monkey, foolhead.
I trust him.
That's
Yep.
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
God forbid we get it for free.
And so,
Bunker is shitty soccer.
for Proudest Monkey.
Thank you.
I agree.
We all agree. We all agree. But if it's bunkering or losing somebody for the rest of the playoffs, what would you rather do?
Bunker. Although
None of us are advocating parking the bus.
No.
We all want to play beautiful football.
Yep.
But we'll take what we can get.
Yep.
So,
but what would we have done? We would have probably played to score another goal.
predictions?
Yep.
Gosh, I have so much more to say, but this is a compressed show. All right.
Yep.
Predictions?
Well, you can talk a lot next week about the final game.
Bunkering. I just wanted to talk about bunkering.
Stop tonight. I'd say let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, hard stop. I'm out. Carriage return. Next
Hang on,
paragraph.
no, we got predictions. So
Okay. Predictions at home against Real Salt Lake.
Yep.
Yep.
You see this, we don't know exactly who's going to play, but I think our team is deep and strong. I think Ziggy's going to match up the people he needs to. Mwah. That's some serious horsepower. That's some power.
what do you got?
I'm gonna say 2-0 Sounders.
2-0 Sounders. Okay.
I'm counting on our defense to give the classic stout defense with Sperning in the back. I'd almost say 3-0 at home because we don't have. But okay, 2-0. I'm
What do
going.
you got, Aaron?
I have 1-0.
1-0.
I want to say 2-0, like you wanted to go up to 3-0, but I think 1-0. I do believe we're going to pull off the win. I do believe it's going to be a tough match, though. I think it's going to be a tough one.
I think Freddie Montero will be assist or score.
This is the one I hope I'm wrong on. I hope I'm wrong low.
I'm gonna do something I probably don't normally do. But
God damn it, Lee.
3-1 has been the big scoreline.
Yeah,
for us,
it has, yeah.
I'm
Oh God, I thought he was gonna say we were gonna lose. I was gonna reach over and slap you.
3-1. Oh, and on the last note for MLS of this week, close out the season. Sperning finished with a .73.
Well, that's what killed me about that one going in.
The third best.
in MLS history.
Right.
So, but it's asterisk because it's 34 games versus 32 games.
Right.
Proudest Monkey agrees with you.
No.
3-1 Sounders.
Yes.
So that means that we're screwed.
I'm saying 3-0. I'm saying 3. I'd go 3-0, but Victor the predictor went with the 2.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a shutout. I think our defense is gonna do really
Yeah,
well.
I'm okay with the shutout, but I think, and Fat Monk Fullhead also said it, that the reason I said 1-0 is that it's not like we're just scoring a plethora of goals against them, and I'm a little bit concerned by that, and we haven't really scored a lot. You gotta think Eddie might be out.
That's the difference. That's why I said 2.
You know who I haven't seen score a lot this season?
Ochoa.
No, Lonzo.
Yeah.
Well, I can feel
He's
Lonzo
due
coming to one of those.
He's due for a volley for about 40.
I know. So
He's
Okay.
due.
All right. So that said,
let's bring Ted in.
we're gonna bring in Ted.
We're gonna bring in.
This
Ted
is at
Westervelt.
Soccer Reform, so at Soccer Reform on Twitter, and we are going to bring him in now.
We're gonna give him
in just
a ring.
1 second here.
And while we're giving this call in, I was just gonna say about bunkering. George S. Patton's a hero of mine. Not because he killed a lot of people and as a general, but I liked his always advance position. And I just hate bunkering. When you dig in, you're done.
Yep. Hello, Ted. How are you?
Good.
Doing excellent. So
Thanks
we're going to do a
thanks
quick,
for coming on.
Yes, thank you. We're going to do a quick sound check if we could. The guys in the watching live are how are we doing on sound with Ted? If Ted can just maybe do a quick introduction of yourself.
Right.
Excellent.
Is that all you are?
And I don't know if it'll help if you got your mic jacked or as high as you can go or anything. We can hear you fine, but for some reason the broadcast to say it's a little lower, but they can hear you.
Oh, you've got to click on this window.
Yeah, click on the window. Okay, good enough. We just want to make sure that we get it done right.
Is that what you did before?
Yeah.
All right, and we're checking the chat room with the little
one last check with the chat room.
Come on, guys.
And then once we do that,
This is the
we'll go ahead
live
and
show.
jump in.
So, Ted, go ahead and give us one more sound check, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How about the room? Anything?
Well, we're on a
Waiting to
delay.
hear that. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a
And we
delay.
are recording this, and so we know the recording.
Not a thing.
What are you talking about, not a thing?
Still nothing.
What the hell did you guys... I was kidding.
Give us 1 second, everybody.
Yep. This is Ted. We're changing some settings here.
Hang on, check.
Yeah, totally no pressure. This is a live show, so we're not even worried.
Shoot the Soundflower 64.
Yeah, this
And
time,
can you go ahead and click back on this window?
click on that
How
window.
about now?
Hello, folks.
Can people hear
Ted,
the
one
chat?
last time.
And we
Ted, you can hear
this
us
is
still,
a
right?
classic Apollo 13 moment for SonarFeed.
Yeah.
No, he's still counting. If the clock's ticking, Ted's on.
So speakers, that should be fine. All right,
But
hey.
yeah. Triple negative, and thanks for all your help, everyone. We love it when we get negative on the sound
Yeah,
questions.
it's not good. Ted, are you still there? Yeah, we tried that, but the only problem is,
Blame Ustream.
yeah, that's right. We're not using the Ustream right
It
now.
was working earlier.
Hold on a second here. You know what? How about that?
Oh, hey.
Oh,
Hey, can we get a sound check
now
now?
they
Yeah.
can probably hear him.
Go ahead and click on the window over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Now we're gonna do a real sound check here.
Oh, shit.
Check. Yeah, now,
Hey,
okay,
Ted, can you go ahead
Ted.
and
Thanks
say
for
one, two,
coming
three?
in. We have Ted Westervelt on the show.
Did we lose Ted?
No, he's still here.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the delay on the feedback for our live show, broadcasting
Bye,
live from the
Sue.
Berliner.
I'll let you know if you lose
No, we can hear you loud and
That's
clear.
awesome.
I don't think we're gonna lose Ted. We're just gonna.
Goddamn technology.
Yeah. Oh, yay! We're on. Okay, we got it loud now. So let's reintroduce. We can cut this part out of the show on the
Okay.
recording.
Sorry about that. That
For all
was
you-
flat out
Yeah,
stupidity.
that
For all you loyal
was
fans.
changing the shot without changing the shot. So
Yeah.
that was beautiful right there.
Operator's error.
Yes,
Including
operator
all of
error
us.
by me.
Unfortunately, the talent's behind the keyboard, so we have to. But we all take the blame.
Oh, it's kind of funny.
Anyway, who do we
Right.
have? So we're bringing in a guest on the show.
Yes. Welcome into Ted Westervelt. I probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize, Ted. That's my little thing. I pronounce everyone's name wrong.
That's what he does for us.
No, there's no silent letters. You guys are doing
Aaron pronounces FIFA, so
Okay.
we're surprised that
Yeah, trust me.
he knows what it's supposed to be. He just says it the
So
other
now I'm
way.
gonna start calling it Ted Westervelt then, just so I can pronounce it wrong.
Westervelt.
Westervelt. Yeah, Westervelt.
Really? Really? Next you're going to say Velveeta.
You are at Soccer Reform on Twitter.
Yep.
I want to start out by
And it's soccerreform.us on the interweb.
soccerreform.us on the interweb. Yes.
Yes.
worldwide.
Well, welcome
yes.
to SonarFeed.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
Now, I want to start out and just be totally honest here. I am somewhat ignorant, as these guys would agree with. And I said it that way on purpose. I know, I said it that way on purpose. But I honestly have not, I don't follow you on Twitter currently. That may change after talking to you this evening. I purposely, once these guys started talking about having you on, I didn't follow you because I wanted to come in and have kind of a fresh perspective here. I know that I've seen a lot of things said to you, about you. I've seen retweets, and we'll get to that in a second here, but that's what I know about you. So I wanted to kind of start there. That's my personal history with you.
Can I'll let Adam jump in.
Yeah.
Well, my history is when I tweet something seemingly harmless, every once in a while I get it, like out of nowhere, you will blast me with something, and I'll be like, "Whoa, it's match day, and I just want to go watch my Sounders," and it'll be like something like, "I'm like, God, this guy."
Then you hear something like, God damn it, don't you want your team to be the best in the world?
I have to mute him for the
I
day.
have an agenda with the sound.
I know. And
we'll get to that.
And I think the odd thing is, from what I gather, is it actually would benefit the Sounders, but my position is that it might hurt the MLS. But we'll get on that. So let's see what Lee says. What do you know about this?
So my perspective is, and Ted, I've been following you for quite a long time, and believe it or not, my interest in you is not about soccerreform.us. It's actually the stuff you do with pot hunting and Archibald pot hunting and that aspect of things. Now I don't know. That's what I find most interesting, and we're going to try to get to that at the end of this segment here. But we have a lot of questions for the soccer reform, Ted. So.
Oh, the history piece, you can't divorce it. I mean, actually, pot hunting came straight out of soccer reform and not vice versa.
No, and
Well, we're glad you're here now.
I have a Fall River Marksman long sleeve shirt that I wear. I will buy a Rover shirt this winter. But that's where I find the most interesting part of the site and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And the first question we really have for you.
We actually took questions from users.
Before we go let's do this. Let's just give Ted
the straight up platform. What's your platform is running for president?
Kind of like you or like we just did. Tell us a little bit about Ted and tell us why.
I feel like I have to thank the Berliner.
No.
All that other stuff that
you don't have to, but since you did, the next time you show up in Seattle, we'll buy you a brew down
there. You go.
Absolutely. You bet.
So give us a 30-second view of just like why, and again, let's go semi-close to 30 seconds, who you are, why you do this. We have a lot of questions that will answer some of these, but just tell us who you are and what you're about.
I'm an old political consultant, political hack, and spent some time in D.C. and was a big soccer fan. Went to World Cup '94, got all fired up like a bunch of other Americans, and noticed that something started to sort of fall out of love with MLS after the DC United came back. Thought maybe I was getting tired of soccer, and then I discovered Fulham in the relegation battles, and I said, "Wow, that's pretty cool! Like this is some element of soccer that I wasn't really familiar with, and gee, how great would it be if we could do that?" And then I started sort of asking around and figuring out what could be done, and if anybody had started anything, and then nobody really had been doing anything or been pushing it very hard, so I just sort of dove in.
This is starting to add up. He's a DC United fan, kind of.
Don't even.
No, just kidding. Joke.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think it's pretty much was at this point. Although every once in a while I still can go there.
All right, that's excellent, Ted. Okay, so we're going to ask you a couple questions here.
We fielded some questions. These are from some Twitter followers, Facebook. We fielded our best questions. So
the first one is so you started the website late '97, late 2007, early 2008, and it sounds like the straw that pushed you over the edge was the watching Fulham relegation battles. Is that the case?
That was kind of that was what sort of flipped me over on the whole relegation promotion thing. I mean, for a long time, I just kind of thought it was a European thing and didn't really understand it and didn't know why we should be doing it. If, we don't have to, we can do soccer anywhere we want. But after that, changed my mind.
All right, that's good. Perfect. Okay.
We're and I've actually thought of this before I even heard of Ted and this stuff. This is something that I would love to see happen at MLS.
So let's make sure now the people that are in our chat room know what promotion and relegation is. So let's quickly go through that. Promotion and relegation is the idea of taking a certain number of bottom or second division teams and bringing them up into the premier division, and then lowering a certain amount of teams from the premier division and relegating them back down into the first or second division of soccer.
Right.
It's something that happens in almost every other league in the world. We are one of the only people that don't. I think A-League was one of the only holdouts that was remaining in Australia, and they finally went to it this year. Is that correct, Ted?
It would be the equivalent of the Mariners being relegated to AAA after.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, Australia has been bouncing the ball around. It's been a kind of an interesting little battle there between one of the state federations and the national federation on what they're going to do. But Australia has been talking about it. They're under a lot of pressure from the Asian Fed to implement it, and I'm sure FIFA's not too upset about the whole situation.
Okay. Now, is there anybody in the U.S., I know the MLS, of course, is one league, but are there any other leagues in the U.S. that are currently doing the relegation and promotion at all, or have talked about it?
Greyhound racing.
Oh, shit. Nice.
I like the ponies.
I like that. I meant soccer related.
Some of the state feds, somebody came up with a Maryland has promotion relegation in their amateur divisions, but I'm not familiar. And more than that, some of the youth divisions, I know the youth divisions in Colorado are also doing it, but I'm not 100% familiar with how it works in those situations as much. The professional ranks is what I'm concentrating on.
Yeah, fair enough. And the reason I asked that because just after this evening, right when we were setting out, right before you came online, I did check your Twitter feed and I saw that Maryland one, which is why I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was interesting that an amateur division would do something like that.
It's actually
so
cool.
It is, yeah.
So So let's talk a little bit about your platform, about promotion and relegation, and why is it so damn important to you?
For me, it's simple. For me, it's unlimited teams. The only way we can get unlimited teams is to go with promotion and relegation. And I'll go into a little spiel here, but just bear with me. If you look back over soccer history, closed leagues, top flight of unlimited clubs always fail. So if you want unlimited clubs, if you're like me and you want to see a Sounders take on the planet, there's really no other way to do it but adopt promotion relegation. And on top of that, there's no other way to unlimit the other teams by definition in the lower divisions and say, you guys can be whatever you want to. That's pretty much the core of the issue for me. And it works both lower divisions and seeing our top division teams be able to stand on equal footing with anybody in the world, or open the avenue for them to do that. And I get accused of being a dreamer by saying, oh gosh, how can the Sounders ever, be amongst the best in the world anyway? What are you even talking about? Like, well, y'all got world-class support. Why not connect it? But it's just
no, fair enough. And see, that's where my comment you heard, if you were listening to my CCL comment, is so important to me. CCL is our avenue for that right now to the world stage.
Yeah.
We have to do a couple of jumps, of course, but that to me is at least one way we can do it right now, given the constraints of the system as it exists today.
CCL is the avenue to the world, and it pains me to watch MLS teams going in there not loaded for bear but limited for parity.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Real quick?
Please.
The MLS has been around longer than a lot of the fans have been in Seattle.
Sure.
Yes.
We have a huge fan base here, but a lot of them have not been around since MLS has been enacted. So,
I wasn't.
You're right.
And I was I watched the MLS, and I hate to give this up. I'm old enough to remember the NASL days. So
me and Ted probably hung out at DC United games together.
Probably, yeah, and he was, yeah. So you guys may have rubbed elbows there, but
Or something else.
I think maybe that could be a factor. People just are unaware that especially in Seattle, they're learning. We have a history of our own that a lot of our fans are learning, and I think there's people like me. I actually support this relegation promotion thing. But
I think all three of us support the concept.
Kill MLS if we do it overnight.
I do. I support
The concept.
I like the concept.
But I do have one question for Ted, and you brought it up in your last statement. Is the idea of the unlimited club? Can you kind of explain what the unlimited club is and why it's important?
Every league in the world of consequence, I would say, and I'll probably be offending some, has unlimited clubs. I mean, that's how soccer has been run. That's how soccer is run. Unlimited can be a little bit of a generous term, and that of course there are some limits, transfer deadlines and all the other things that leagues and whatnot, and financial fair play coming in with FIFA, that's could be construed as some kind of limit if it actually gets implemented in a rigorous way. But in order for our teams to actually stand toe to toe, to even be able to grow into those shoes, you can't be run as an American sports league. And I understand why some American sports leagues are run the way they are, as closed leagues with salary caps and whatnot. It makes sense. But what I've noticed in my research is that those leagues operate under different paradigms than soccer does. And it's just, for me, it's obtuse to just apply that model to soccer, seeing as those leagues, NFL, MLB, whichever ones you want to talk about, are either viewed as dominant or are the only league of their kind, like NFL. And to just apply that closed league model on a global sport where our league is one of 100, and they're all unlimited, it just seems to me to be obtuse. And then I'll stop now because I've got other soapboxes. But that's a big one.
No, Ted, that's great though. So that brings up what I wanted to ask in the last question, and it brings up the same thing to here though. Isn't it worthwhile? And let me ask you this question: don't you think that it's better to build the foundation now that we're building with the MLS and what it's doing, even though the single entity drives me absolutely batty, and there's so many things about it that I'm with you, I agree with, but isn't it worth building the foundation for a set number of years, whether it be 5, 10, 15 years, to build the infrastructure that's needed to take us to that next level? Don't you think that's what we should be doing right now?
Hey, you give me that set number of years and I'm down.
Okay,
that's all right.
but that's
No,
what, but
that's a fair
what,
answer.
yeah, that's a great answer. But I think that's what doesn't come across on Twitter too. I don't think that comes across on Twitter sometimes because you're talking in 140 characters.
Exactly.
So he's on the
let's ask
extreme
this question.
lunatic fringe of pushing it hard so we can drag this along. I like that, actually.
Right.
But let's ask the question.
Not lunatic, sorry. Lunatic's
do we
a bad
have
word,
to ask the
that's a
question?
song.
Do we have to have the discussion with Don Garber, or do we have to have the discussion with Sunil Gulati and U.S. Soccer?
Right.
You have to have it with U.S. Soccer, and I don't think you can have it with Sunil Gulati.
Fair enough.
And
Fair
none
enough.
of us here are fans of U.S. Soccer. They've handled much of anything.
Sure.
No.
Just coming from the Sounder standpoint, much less other teams. And I'm
He
sure other
ranked-
teams probably aren't happy.
Yeah, he ranks up there with David Stern in my opinion.
David Stern and
David Stern's
Ricardo
a cook.
Salazar.
Yeah, Salazar is a saint compared to those two.
A commissioner, and
But okay, so then also here in the comment that what we need is we need financial stability in the divisions. This is the mod writer Rick Parker. He's a friend of ours. We need financial stability in all divisions and lower division teams with facilities that could stand alongside top MLS stadiums. That's something today that would be difficult if you bring up like a Portland into the MLS. Oh wait a minute, they already came up. Sorry. If you brought a Cal FC up.
No, let's back this up. Let's back this up a little bit because I am on Ted's side here. When you talk about the Rowdies, when you talk about the Atlanta Silverbacks, when you talk about the Charleston Battery, when you talk about the Rhinos, when you talk about these teams that have great facilities, no, they're not world-class facilities like the Clink where we sit every week. We're lucky enough that we get 36,000 people.
Right.
For them to sit
38,900.
whatever. For them to sit 6,000 people when somebody like us comes to town, it's a huge number for them. So they don't have the type of draw as a professional team.
Right.
So, I mean, but if the Tampa Bay Rowdies were to go play, if we were to go to Tampa Bay and play the Rowdies, I guarantee there'd be 25,000 people there.
Do you guarantee it?
I guarantee it. I will go out and sell 24,106 tickets.
I will help you.
Hey, the Rowdies used to get a whole lot more than that.
And that's kind of my point. But to kind of back down off of that a little bit, what does it take for U.S. Soccer and MLS to grow to the stature of MLB or NHL or the football?
I would say, well, going back to that question of facilities and financial stability and whatnot, the plan I've put together actually it starts in the lower divisions and it builds from there, and it doesn't even hit MLS for about 12 years, and that's on my website. And it's not particularly unique. It has a lot of elements of a lot of other stuff, and none of these plans are, if they get too rocket science, they get too obtuse anyway. But the point about it is it's to drive the investment to the lower divisions that they need to build that financial stability, and they need to build those facilities, and they need to go out and meet a stadium standard that an independent U.S. Soccer might set. So I think those things are intrinsic. And do you want to turn a switch and say, let's do this right now? Probably not, but you got to do it responsibly. You got to start in the lower divisions, and you got to set dates, and you got to go with dates certain on this stuff. And I think if you do it right, a matter of fact, I know if you do it right, the lower divisions are going to see some financial stability that they've never seen before.
So that brings up a really good question, and it goes back to the U.S. Open Cup this year. Do you think that the investment that the Sounders made in the Atlanta Silverbacks to bring the game to Seattle was a good one for the game and for growing that amateur league?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I mean, Seattle, it's tough to say. It's tough on both sides. The U.S. Open Cup has grown to have a very special place in my heart, and I think that honoring its legacy and keeping it legitimate and keeping it tight is not only good just to honor the great players in the 1920s and the incredible stories in the 30s and you name it, but it's also to make that thing a marketable quantity. I mean, the U.S. Open Cup trophy, the old one, the only trophy older than it's the Stanley Cup. I mean, it's one of those things where it's one of those missed marketing opportunities, and when you fail to give that stuff legacy, and when you start to do stuff like buy home games and whatnot, I think that takes from legacy, and I think that does that. But if you're going to produce a serious crowd for that game, and Atlanta can't, I understand that side of the story too.
So double-edged sword is what you're saying.
Well, and in that deal, we promised to bring the Sounders team down to Atlanta and play a game down there where, I mean, and I'm not familiar with the Atlanta soccer scene at all.
Well, it's actually fairly decent.
Right,
It's not huge, but it's decent.
Right, but the Sounders, who are well known, as we know now, around the world, even for that's a huge thing in the deal. It's not just that we paid to have them come up here. The Sounders are going to travel down to Atlanta during their season, and bring a team down there, and they're going to see a top flight MLS team down there.
So well, that we loaned out Duran. And we gave them a shitload of cash, which they infused into hiring Eric Winalda.
Right, which is funny.
Okay.
Funny.
I mean, one way or another, good, bad, or indifferent, it did do something for their league.
It did. Okay, so now here's a question that I think kind of... No, not that one. Oh. From the chat room. Again, back to Rick, the moderator. He says, and it's not really a question, but I'm going to ask this in a form of a question, Ted. Isn't it fair to say that basically that we need to build the pro relegation between the lower divisions and build it up as opposed from the ground up instead of building it as kind of a trickle down methodology? So build up the infrastructure down below again and have that become a pro relegated and then eventually bring the MLS into the mix and go top down.
Yes, before Ted jumps in here on this, let me go ahead and say I'm going to sit there and echo exactly what Ted's going to say here. We need to bring in.
I want to hear him talk. I hear you talk every week.
Go ahead, Ted.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say is you're right. The amateur leagues do need to come in. We do need to support those amateur leagues. They need to build the facilities, and they need to strive towards being a top flight team. When they're competing in the U.S. Open Cup and they're playing in the final every single year, like the Charleston Battery and like the Rhinos were back in the early 2000s, that's when you have a competitive drive to actually make MLS teams promoted. Go ahead, Ted.
I would just add one more thing to that, and I would say if you don't have this date certain and if you don't have this set so that these teams know that there is a route open to the top division, you are not going to generate the investment that you could otherwise. I mean, you have to be able to set those dates certain. You have to be able to say, here's how we're going to do this. We're not going to see how it works and then decide, let MLS or then decide for MLS what's going to happen. You got to open the thing up and say, your investments will not be in vain. You got a shot here. We're going to give you this shot, and you got it. This is why you should spend your money. And for people that talk about how, MLS is, of course, the financial plan is very solid. Of course, their business structure is very safe. But this is one way you'd have to make the investments of the lower division safe. And if you want to generate those investments, you have to guarantee a path to the top flight.
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, great. So that's perfect. Okay, so let's jump off. I know. So let me just, because this is how I am. You come to learn now. I like to talk. I like to hear myself talk. I like to paraphrase things. You and me. I know. See, we should talk more. I think I'm going to follow you tonight because I think I actually like you.
I re-followed you just now, actually.
So. You've been called a troll, you've been called angry, you've been called negative, you've been called a lot of things. So the next couple of questions I'm going to ask you are from one of your nemesises, I suppose.
Sweet. I won't even say nemesis. You know who they are.
Yeah, you know who they are. They happen to have a heart, right, in their name. No, Sandra at Heart has a couple questions, so we're going to ask you a couple questions from them.
I've been mean to Dave. I agree.
That's good. That's good. So why do you, Ted, feel that insults are the best way to change USSF? That's the quote from Sounder at Heart that was asked to us. So
we've gotten in our battles, and I think that there's a lot of it's a heated topic and things degenerate. And all I would say with somebody like Dave is that I don't really bother messing with anybody who I don't think is bright. I mean, there's no point, and I don't go out there bashing people who I don't think have a brain in their head and can't have this debate on a one-to-one level. So when it comes back to me or I start to get smart comments back, I can be weak and engage in the drama. But I do try not to. I really do.
So is that why you don't ever argue with Lee?
Exactly. I argue more with people sometimes that agree with me than people who don't. So I'm just like that.
And I will say that him and I have actually had some pretty heated arguments.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to hopefully having some heated arguments with you now.
Yeah. So the next question is, go ahead.
No, good.
No, you go ahead. I can't read.
You're the anchor.
You can't read?
No, I can't read.
Okay.
Are you blind?
If someone feels that profits are meaningless, meaning you, Ted, obviously, are meaningless in American soccer, why haven't you put your money forward at the start of the club?
I don't have as much money as a Microsoft co-founder, for starters, or even Drew Carey, who came out a little bit in favor of promotion relegation, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. But that question is just kind of, we don't need we don't all have to have billions of dollars to get this thing fixed. I mean, just because you want promotion relegation, you don't have to produce $1 billion. This isn't the presidential race. I mean, we can do this without that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair answer. It's a good question. I mean, that yes, if I had $1 billion just sitting around, or if I had a couple $100 million sitting around, I think all of us in this table would start a club, or we'd help work on it.
And I'd want a free flight to Real Salt Lake next week. But
let's ask Ted. Ted, have you ever played soccer?
I played in high school and I played in JV in college before I realized that my hand-eye coordination was a lot better than my foot-eye coordination.
Fair enough. Okay, cool.
Okay, so now the next question, again from Sound Heart. You claim that the Sounders aren't a club. What specifically makes them not a club?
This is where I have to say, I have an agenda for the Sounders, and it's to break them out of MLS and let them grow to be a real soccer club. And what I mean by that is that they won't be in the league that Toronto FC is in, which I don't know if you guys read that recent article in the Toronto Star, but I mean, it's entitled MLS meddling. It's such a clear example of what's wrong with MLS, and a guy named Cathal Kelly wrote it, and it's fantastic. And if you need any examples of what I'm talking about from that perspective, look, you just got to read that article. It sums it up better than I ever could. I wish I could write as well as some of these guys, and he's one of them.
So can you go ahead and do us a favor? Can you actually send a link out to that? Can you post it out to SonarFeed?
Sure, but I can't type it.
No, just tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, so we'll retweet it.
And we're putting out a last call right now for questions coming in live, but we have other questions too. But people are falling in now. They realize you're live. It's hard to answer these in 140.
It is.
On Twitter, so people are realizing they have a chance to actually get an actual answer instead of what you can fit in 140 characters. So,
hey, I mean, what I'll say, let me just bring my bias right out in front. I'll say that Seattle has a chance. I mean, of all the bellwethers out there, if all the European fans, the people that NBC just paid $800 million or $80 million a year to reach, if they moved on this issue, that would be big. But if Sounders fans moved on this issue, it's tough to find a way that it could be. That's a big deal. So, if that happened, FIFA might have to say, you know what, maybe we aren't just looking for this limited sort of soccer thing. Maybe we're ready for it. And God knows, maybe we've noticed that y'all can pack a stadium that's an NFL stadium. And what would happen if you had a club that was, could actually make a play for a world-class club? And would you need a bigger stadium than the NFL could provide? I mean, that's what I'm talking about here.
Well, we already know that the Sounders can fill 68,000 people, which is the same size as an NFL stadium. But I want to ask you a direct question to what you just said. With the NHL strike that's in place today, does MLS have an opportunity to bring in fans they may never have had?
This gets into that whole question about what kind of fan base is MLS trying to build, and I. Judging by the fact that NBC just paid 8 times more for EPL than MLS, I think that MLS is not trying to access real soccer supporters in this country. And I don't think those people watching EPL are just bandwagon supporters. I give them credit for being people who want to watch sophisticated supporters who want to watch the unlimited soccer that the game is made of. And so that's where I run with that. That's
That's fair.
It's a fair, but so my concern with that though is you look at the clubs in the EPL, for instance, and you got Man City spending $800 billion trillion, a gajillion, even,
yes, easily a gajillion.
And you wonder at some level though, not everybody can perform at that level. And they're all in debt. And then you look at like Spain, and all the clubs are in debt, significantly in debt.
Look, you guys have managed to stand up under MLS salary caps and not get, and usually not get completely embarrassed. So it might be closer than you think.
Okay, perhaps it is. That's what I'm just using, generalizations here when I talk.
I think the EPL is the exception here. If we're looking more at like what's happening in Norway and Finland and Sweden and Denmark, and even not even top tier. So I'm not talking Barcelona or Real, but if you look at Buffete or Sociedad or any of those second tier La Liga teams, they're not paying multi-million-dollar contracts. They're paying just slightly higher than MLS standard rates.
True, fair enough.
Johnson
And that's where I run the Bundesliga there too.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's a great example.
Fair example. I mean, you got to remember, look at our entire national team playing Bundesliga.
Right. No, fair enough. Yeah. So that's good points. Okay. All right. So one of our special guests, and by special I mean he rides a short bus.
Yeah, he has been a guest on the show.
And he's a funny, great guy.
Not really, but well, yeah. I mean, yes, he was a guest. So, anyways,
as far as funny, that's debatable.
I did the best I could.
Proudest Monkey 3 asks a question. With the franchising works in the MLS and sports in general in the U.S., how would the promotion relegation work with that, especially with the fickle U.S. fan?
Oh, I think whatever the word is for ficality, that ends in a promotion relegation system. In my mind, I think that is not only is it different, I think it actually engenders a level of passion and commitment to one's club that we don't have in this country, and I think that's related to the way we do business. I mean, there are no cellar dwellers, so that helps a lot, and you got that whole minor league thing that's not really minor league that can come up. So that's the part of the question I chose to concentrate on. I think I forgot the rest of it, so you may have to remind me.
That's okay. I mean,
so Ted, let's go ahead and preface this right now. We have karaoke starting. We're going to try to play through this as much as we possibly can. So if it gets too loud for you, just shout out real loud.
Yeah, our mics actually work really well, so you actually can probably hear us just fine. It sounds loud here for us three, but we chose our mics carefully. I had a quick question.
Can you connect? Go ahead. You do your follow-up. Yeah.
Just my quick follow-up is that if you were the commissioner or whoever, God, Harry Potter with the magic wand, what's your time frame for MLS and relegation promotion? Because would you do it right after this off season and try to create a structure, or we talk? What would be your plan? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
My plan is to start it off in the lower divisions and bring it up so that it hits MLS, so that promotion hits MLS in about a dozen years, and that MLS teams aren't really exposed to relegation for another couple years after that. That's the plan I'm running with right now.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So go ahead.
Do you actually have your plan written down someplace?
Yeah, it's on the website.
Okay, so soccerreform.us, correct?
Yep.
Cool. All right,
soccerreform.us one more time.
Yeah. So Aaron Riley is going to go read that because I have not read it yet. So, and that was a follow-up to Proudest Monkey. Had the same kind of follow-up. He said within a generation or what time frame. So that was a good question.
I think 12 years is actually that is a high school generation.
Yeah, I think that's maybe not quite enough time to do a full switch. I think that you need to go from my children are 9 and 3. I think when they're older, because they've been exposed to it, and they're getting their friends exposed to it, etc. I think it's more of I
personally think you're late to the game.
Yeah, I think a dozen years is plenty, because if we did it in 3, there'd be some teams that would be dead and gone and never heard from again. Maybe that's part of the deal. I don't know if Ted thinks that, but I can think of a couple things off the top of my head that could not pull them out even.
We can argue how long it would take. We can argue to the.
I think the 12 to 20 year range.
Soccer's got to set it. They've got to set it, and they've just got to run with it. Yeah, and that's the only way in my mind that it works.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a great.
We got 3 questions we want to get to, and then I want to talk briefly about Archibald pot hunting and the history aspect.
Perfect. Great. So the question here.
Question after this too. If we get to it, but
We'll get to your question.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is the last serious question that we had from our viewers. Is there anything really wrong with MLS refereeing, and can Peter Walton really do anything to improve the overall quality in MLS reffing?
I read that article today, and I think Paul Gardner did it. I don't usually follow MLS ref issues very closely, but it's pretty classic that they just brought an English guy in with 9 years of experience reffing to head this whole thing up. It's pretty classic MLS. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just that's pretty much all I would say about it. I'm a terrible soccer referee, and I've tried, but I think it's just so par for the course for MLS to pull that kind of stuff.
Gus, we told you.
Yes, swear.
Yeah, fair enough, though. That's a good answer.
I know I'm going a little bit long.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go.
All right. So there's 2 more negative ones. Well, okay. There's one that's funny.
These are the hard questions.
So the first one
really read.
So the first one here is and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some expletives that everybody else wanted to use. And
this is a paraphrasing now.
I'm going to paraphrhrase for about 17 people. Why the fuck are you so negative all the time, Ted? Why?
I only have 140 characters. Look, my political hero is Barney Frank. He's one of the guys I had the privilege to work for.
Oh, yeah.
And if I had to set myself out to be like anyone, it would be like Barney. The guy doesn't mince words. He's just got to roll with what he says, and he's throwing it out there, and he's not sugarcoating it. And if you give him some kind of, bogus answer to what he's saying, or some kind of goofy, sleight of hand, he gets back in your face, and I appreciate that. And so, if I come off a little nasty in 140 characters, but I get my point across, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. You guys are
all right, sorry. Yeah,
sorry about
we were ordering beer. We apologize.
No, hang on. So I'm going to go ahead and
I want to read this one.
Go ahead.
I want to read this one. So, a fake Adrian H, which I don't know if you follow him at all or watch him.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is my favorite question of the day. It's why I'm raw. I want to read it, and I'm going to read it as if I'm fake Adrian. Why, Ted? Why do you not close your eyes anymore when I kiss you? When I kiss your lips? Did I render you speechless?
I did. I can't. Our falling out shouldn't be public, I don't think.
Oh, that's awesome. You win, Ted. All right, Adam, you have a question.
I just had a quick question because I had a long argument about a newbie to soccer in MLS a couple days ago, and it's very close to me. I was wondering what you think of the playoffs versus the table thing, and I was trying to explain why the table for soccer is pure and must be held to, because I like the table finish. But I was trying to explain why Americans, for some reason, must have a playoff, and I don't like it. I don't like the playoffs for soccer.
I don't like it either, goddammit.
God damn it.
I like it.
I don't have a problem. I mean, of all the, I get accused of being somebody who wants to march in lockstep with Europe all the time, but playoffs, if you want playoffs, you can have playoffs. I mean, the championship in England has playoffs, and if there's something at stake, I mean, if you go with my plan, what I want to do is break the U.S. into 2 separate pyramids, which makes a playoff as relevant as it would be in Major League Baseball. I mean, East and West, I think MLS, of all the things I would accuse MLS of getting wrong, I think splitting the country into East and West, that's not one that I would jump all over. So I'm not, some people might call me tell me I'm being a heretic by not supporting pure single table, but I just see that there's other ways of it working in this country, and we have some special challenges, and we have some special geographic things going on, and playoffs. You can have playoffs.
All right, that's a good answer, actually. I mean, this is where I think that, for me personally, I'm glad I didn't ever follow you or do that stuff, because I got to hear you talk in a different light than I think most people have. So I appreciate that a lot, Ted. So, I'm going to tell the chat room if you have any last questions, ask them now. In the meantime, I'm going to let Lee turn over and talk about your other passion.
Yeah, so Ted, I've been following Archibald pot hunting for a long time. I think the idea of forgetting about our soccer roots, I was born in Fall River, Massachusetts. I come from a Portuguese-Irish background that really demands history accuracy in soccer, and I think that it's important that we understand the Fall River Marksmen of the world, and the Rovers, and Bethlehem Steel, and all the other great teams that have come before in history in the U.S. Open Cup. Can you kind of give us a little bit of background of your involvement in the pot hunting movement and what it means to you?
Pot hunting grew out of soccer reform. I mean, I was doing the research for soccer reform and noticed that there are you cannot get to the bottom of the number of U.S. soccer clubs that have passed in and out of existence since 1910. You just can't. You have no idea. I mean, for instance, and I tweeted this out today. You may have seen it. 165 clubs from New York City alone bailed on U.S. soccer during the great soccer war of the late 1920s. I mean, there were it's just astounding. And so when I got into that, I said, what's kind of the way to put that out there? And I said, well, you could do T-shirts. I mean, I don't love T-shirts, and I'm not really an aspiring fashion designer, but the one way you can do it maybe is to get some of these logos on people's chests and get people starting asking questions about them. I mean, the history is unbelievable. I mean, you take it back to that ASL and the St. Louis Muni League. They produced a team that went to the semifinals in the World Cup in 1930, and those were all American club players that took it there. And yeah, the 1930 World Cup wasn't, like they are today. The competition wasn't as fierce and wasn't intense, but we did beat Belgium by 3-0 score, and we did beat Paraguay by 3-0. And I mean, Belgium's a European side, and they weren't no slackers back in those days. So we've just got that history is epic, and it goes so unnoticed and so lost. And the marksmen are just astounding. I mean, the game friendlies with the Rangers. I mean, you talk about the whole friendly phenomenon in the U.S. and whether you should be playing league games or friendlies and what's more important. That goes all the way back to 1924. It's awesome. But again, it's all about, for me, it really is, I have an ulterior motive, and that is once you notice how U.S. soccer has been going for 100 years and how club soccer in the United States has worked for 100 years, it's tough not to, and I'm patting myself on the back maybe, but it's tough not to come to some kind of conclusion or at least wonder if we might be doing something just a little wrong.
All right, hey Ted, we've got karaoke in the background, and they went louder than normal, so we're getting a lot of feedback, and we do apologize for that. But what I do want to say is that I think we're going to wrap up, unfortunately, a little bit earlier than we wanted to with you. I would love to bring you back on in the coming weeks if you're available. Maybe like right after the season ends or in between there.
Season ends Sunday.
When the playoffs end, when the Americanized bastardization of the European game.
Actually, I think Ted would be a great off-season host sometime.
Yes.
Like second weekend in December, we need to, try to spend Christmas here.
Yeah, so Ted, we'll talk to you offline, but I want to read you a couple of comments. They say, we approve of your commentary. I'm on board now. You've convinced me, and you were really good. Thank you guys to us and to you, Ted. So I love this. I love doing this. So I think I want to do this again here in a few weeks, a few months. We'll talk to you offline, but thank you so much for everything you did tonight. I'm going to turn my mic off, give you 30 seconds to say anything else you want to say, plug yourself, plug anything you got.
All I would say is thank you guys, and I think doing this conversation off season is certainly it can be a little more helpful, perhaps. But and right now, it's tough, and you just have to the one thing I would want to say to everybody out there is, if you want this to happen, if you want an unlimited club, being whether you're in Seattle or Schenectady, it doesn't matter. We can do this, but we just need to say we might be doing something wrong here, and we have to stand up and say we want to try and join the rest of the world and try to be a full-fledged member of the community. That's really it. But that's about all. I mean, I don't pat myself on the back all that great for listening, for enjoying listening to myself talk as well as I do. So.
All right, thank you so much, Ted. That was outstanding. We will talk to you offline. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. We'd like to have you on again, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Anytime. See you guys.
He get it.
He doesn't.
Why not?
Because he broke the rules.
What rules? We didn't see any rules, did we, Charlie?
Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. You lose a contract signed by him. You get washed. You get sterilized. You get nothing. Good day. You lose. Wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You get wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You lose. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Good day, nothing. You lose. Get good day, nothing. You lose. Get good day, nothing. You lose. Get good day, nothing. You lose. You get nothing. You get nothing. You get nothing. Clear as crystal. You lose. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Fax mentis incendium gloria culpum memo bis punitor della casta etc.
You're a swindler.
Wrong, sir, wrong.
You're a cheat.
Wrong, sir, wrong.
You're a swindler.